Hey guys, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Saturday the 21st of February. Have another week to go of February and then we're going to be into March. Doing a little tea chat with you guys. I wanted to talk about like my plans for this spring with the property. And obviously we will definitely be living up there this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I know that this is the year that we're going to be up there full time. And it's my baby. This is the most mellow cat. He's a good boy. So anyway, I've been talking to different people, and like I said, my first two priorities this spring are getting a well house in place and a pump so that I can pump the water up, and working on my solar system and getting my power squared away. Those are the first two priorities that I'm going to focus on, hopefully before we have to move up there. Okay, go ahead, baby boy. So that's going to be the focus in the beginning. Now, as far as the power situation, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, you need to have XYZ number of panels and XYZ number of batteries, and I realize I'm going to need to have a lot of panels and a lot of batteries. But what I plan on doing is I have a 5,500 watt generator. Okay, so like when the kids are at school, obviously there won't be a lot of power being used, and obviously when I'm working, there's not going to be a lot of power being used. And then probably the most time of the day that the power will be used will be in the evenings. Like when the kids get home from school and we're making dinner, doing whatever we need to do at that point. So in the beginning, if I have to run the generator 4 or 5 hours a day, I'm going to do that. Because I am not going to have my kids without power. I mean, we're going to have power, and I don't know how long of a usage I would get out of full tank of gas. I think it's like 12 hours. So I mean, and it's I don't know how many gallons that is, to be honest with you. It could be like a 5-gallon tank. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it could be longer usage-wise. I mean, we'll find out. I've never run it that long, so I actually haven't used a generator very much at all. So it's basically almost like brand new, and I've had it for like 6 years. So, but I will definitely be using that in the beginning. The ultimate goal is to wean myself from the generator as I continue to add solar panels and a wind turbine and adding more batteries and collecting power naturally. I mean, you just can't go from having power like this where you just flip the switch on and you got the lights to very limited power. Especially in the beginning. I'm not going to be pulling in a lot of power in the beginning. As each month goes by and I can buy even if I do, see, here's the other thing that I want to explain to you guys too. I am going to do this with not going into debt. Okay, I do not plan on people say, oh, you should get this kind of building, or you should do this, you should do that. I'm going to do this project down there as I can. So with my new job that I'm going to be starting, I'm going to get paid every 2 weeks. So basically, it's going to be every 2 weeks I pay whatever bills I have to pay, then have my expenses out, and then figure out, okay, what do I have extra to work with to put into the property. That's how this is going to go. I mean, I do not want to go into debt I don't ever plan on being in debt again. So I mean, this is going to be as I go project, and it's going to be an adjustment, and I realize that, and but the thing is, it's like, the key is going to be, after having getting the water done, getting a pump for the well house, and I don't want an underground pump. I want a pump that I can have right in the well house itself, and to pump the water up. That's the way I'm going to go with that. So I'm not going to have this. I mean, my well is 130 feet deep, so I don't plan on having the submersible pump in there. Also, I plan on, once the water situation is squared away and the power is started, the power is going to be an ongoing project for several years, is what I'm thinking, to be honest with you, until I get to the point where I have an abundance of power and I can have whatever I want. I mean, that's going to be how that's going to go. But The next focus after that is building like a carport type of thing over the top of the camper, extending it out, like an extra 20 feet past the camper, and the length of the camper, which is 37 feet, and making an addition onto there. Once I get that going, get a wood stove in there. Then it's all about preparation for next winter. And once even if I just get it roughly boxed in, get some outside walls up, I can focus on building that inside area all winter long, because I'll have all winter to focus on that, because there won't be a lot of stuff going on outside. So, there is a lot that's going to be going on this year. A lot that's going to be going on, and then on top of that, I still have to, cut wood like crazy. And but the beauty of that is I'll be down there every day. So even if I took an hour, or 2 hours every other day, I can really bang out a ton of wood. I mean, because with the way we would go down there, and I would go down and cut one day and then go down the next weekend and split, and it was just, I did it as I could and as I had time. But with living down there, we're going to be down there every day. So there's going to be there's a lot of wood still down, a lot of wood I need to cut up. So there's a lot that has to be done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a garden in this year or not. I don't really even know, to be honest with you. Depending on what everything else is happening, I want to get more grape plants in this year. I would like to get in some trees. I'd like to get in some cherry trees and some apple trees, more apple trees. I have apple trees up there already, but I'd get some more apple trees up in there, and also some pear trees and stuff like that. Just having all that fresh fruit that I can harvest every fall will be awesome. So I definitely need to get more of that going. I mean, there is so much that I want to do. I want to get a greenhouse. I want to set up an aquaponics system. So there's going to be, realistically, my goal to have everything the way that I would like to have it. I see it a minimum of 3 years to be where I want to be. And then once I get this initial shelter built, then I start eventually working on the main shelter, where we're going to have our home. And I'm actually really leaning strongly into doing some form of like an earth ship, where it's right directly into the hill itself, so I can utilize the hill for the temperature fluctuations between summer and winter here, so that it'll stay easier to keep it warm in the winter, and it'll keep it cooler in the summer. So I mean, I'm looking into all those type of things. But like I said, the first priority, getting down to the property, I got to get the water pump in place and get a well house put up. And then also power at the same time. So those are like the first two things that I'm going to be really focused on once the weather breaks and I have money in my pocket to work with. And then after that, then it's going to be working on building the shelter around the camper and extending it out, and getting a wood stove in there before the winter comes. And there, like I said, there is a lot of work to do. And I'm not afraid of hard work. So I mean, it'll be interesting, And I'm not an expert, so we'll just I'll do the best that I can, and rely on some friends to help, and a few other people that want to live off grid as well. There's a couple of couples that I've talked to that are really interested, and I'm looking at my cats. I hear somebody up on top. And it's Maximus. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? So anyway, but yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys an update, do a little sit-down tea chat with you. Oh, it's, I don't know if I told you, it went down to 7 below last night here, and today it's up to a whopping 21. It's like a heat wave. We haven't been out of the single digits in a while. It's been just brutal cold. I don't think we've hit 20. I couldn't tell you the last time we hit 20. So it's going to be in the 20s today, it's going to be in the 20s tomorrow, and then it's going to go right back off the table again and go cold again on us. So I'm hoping that the weather changes soon and the snow starts to melt, and then we can get focused on other things. But so I just want to give you guys like my game plan for the spring, and what I plan on doing and how I plan on working through this, because there's so much that has to be done. And then let's not forget, in the middle of all this, that I'm going to have to unload this house, with everything and get everything down there. Let's not forget that. So that'll be an interesting time just in itself. But you know, it's exciting and scary, like I've said before. But it's gonna be interesting year. I can tell you, it's gonna be wild. You know, starting a new job and you know, and I'm happy about that because I got to have the money coming in. I mean, you know, you can't try to do these type of things with no finances. It just doesn't work. So, like I said, it's going to be an interesting year, and we're going to get some stuff done, and it'll be wild. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I really do. I mean, this is going to be, and like I said, you know what? And I've talked to other people about this real quick. I'll mention this. Moving off grid is not cheap. You can't do it for next to nothing. It doesn't work like that. You know, you can't do it. You know, I mean, just my driveway alone that I put in, I put over 15 loads of stone in there. It's $75 a load. Okay, and that was just creek gravel. That wasn't even the finer stone to put on top of that once that's settled. You know, and once I put that stone on, that stone goes for $225 a load. So just that alone, you know, putting in the water lines with the dry hydrants. I mean, you know, and paying the plumber to come in and do that so it's done right. I mean, that, you know, and then the bulldozer guy to come in and do what he had to do there for, you know, digging up for the lines. I mean, you know, that was a $1,500 shot right there alone, you know, and that's not even counting getting a pump and stuff. So, I mean, none of this stuff is cheap, you know, so, and especially when you're trying to do it without going into debt. That's the key, you know. So, you know, it'll all come together, and I know it will. It's going to be interesting, and I'm just, you know, really grateful that you know, my kids are you know, are doing so well, and that they're really good kids, and they'll do fine, and I have confidence, and they'll adjust well. I mean, I have no doubt about that at all. I mean, we have the camper. We can live in the camper. Basically, if we didn't do anything else, we could live in the camper until, you know, probably November comfortably. So, you know, but I want to make sure that we're squared away before the snow flies next year. So, okay. So that's it for now, guys. I just want to do that update for you guys, and you know, let me know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts, and you know, like I said, it's going to be an interesting year. All right, Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.